Well, I finished doing the plaster, and then I went around and I painted everything just kind of a gray, put a little base underneath the future ballast. And those videos didn't turn out that great. I'm doing this little handheld here. So what I thought I'd do is I'd show you again now what I'm doing is I'm also placing the foam board underneath the track to try to soften up the sound. And as you can see, I've glued some along just using hot glue. And then on some of these other areas here, you see these railroad ties. I'm trying to decide if I should go 2 or 1 in between. I'm going to tumble and stain them up and then ballast everything around. I kind of like the 2, plus it takes up a little bit more room, so I don't use as much. And I have this fixed track. This is Super O. The trains aren't going to go anywhere. That's going to be for accessories and stuff like this, so I'm trying to get them to look have a little similarity. But the next process that I'm doing is going around and placing all the foam underneath as a roadbed, and I'll get finished with that, and then I'm going to kind of experiment over here with some tape, trying to hold in the ballast. This is a higher track and it'll just kind of run all over everywhere, so I think I'm going to end up placing the tape and then pour in the ballast and then use my PVA and proceed with that. And as you can see, I've done a little creativity. I'm going to put a couple of portals in there for the tunnel, and I'm still trying to decide what I'll do in the center section in here. I think I'm going to have some kind of a wintry scene versus just a mountain top there all by itself. But it's progressing a little bit. I've dropped in a few more drops for power, so I have power all the way around. That'll go around to the ZW. And I also have made a couple of additional insulated rail track so that I can use some future accessories and some of the things that I've got going on right now. But as we progress here, I'll put out a couple more videos and see if y'all are interested. And I'm looking for opinions on that single or double for the ties. And I'd appreciate anything that you might want to say, good or bad. There's one of my drops that's there. I'm going to have 6 different drops for power so I don't lose anything going anywhere around. And in the process of doing all this, I took everything apart, took all the pins out, buffed them up with the Dremel, put them all back, tightened up all the rail. Yes, I have one of those little rail tools, handy little devils, and tightened it all up. And when in doing so, I had a little bit of a gap that was down in here. I ended up with an additional 2-inch space once I tightened everything up and trued it up. So I just took another curve track and I cut a full length one down, wherein before I had a standard small one, a half track. So this is kind of like the 3/4, but it filled up the gap. Everything is all done. I try to go around and make sure everything is true and as square as it can be. Not a whole lot. It makes my base a little bit off here and there, but I'll fix that with the foam and the ballasting. But we'll you can see here where I've started one here, and I'll just place this around. I use pins, hold it in place, and then take my glue gun and glue it on down. And then I've got some silicone. What I'm going to do is there's a gap in between, if you can see right in there, because this is an O gauge road bed, and obviously with standard gauge we're a little wider. I'm going to fill that up with some silicone. Just kind of squirt it down there, smoothing it all out so that it's all kind of even, so I'm not just dumping ballast into the middle of nowhere. And then I think I'm going to experiment with the tape, see how that holds, put in the PVA and stuff like that in there, and if that works, then I'm going to tape from here down to here and it'll just kind of fill in, and then I'll PVA it, and it'll all flow through. I'm not sure if I'll put a glue on there first. I was trying to think of some kind of a heavier, thicker glue, but I think it would interfere with the tape. So we'll see how that progresses. Thanks.